Going Downtown from Wilson Douglas in the key of G. So let's talk about this A part. It really breaks down into 4 phrases, but it doesn't follow that common old-time pattern of the first and third phrase being the same. In general, I'm a really big fan of tunes that have interesting first phrases, and this tune definitely fits into that category. So let me play just the A part. So for our first phrase here, I'm really just kind of dancing around on this G chord. So I've got my first finger on the A string for a B note, and I'm reaching over with my third finger for a G note on the D string. One more time there. I'm doing this first finger slide to really start this phrase off, and there's different kinds of slides that you can do. This one, I'm really going for 2 distinct notes. I want to hear both that B flat in there, and then I want to hear that true B note. And then over to that G note. I'm going to come back to that B note after that, and this is, I'm going to slide quick, and the main idea is getting to the B, no B flat. Go over to the G note, and I'm going to do a double stop shuffle on that G double stop there. And with that up bow shuffle, I'm going double stop, just the D string with the G note, and then back to the double stop. So with that up bow, play the first phrase a couple of times. Here's the second phrase. I'm going down to the A string. Play it for you again. So this phrase starts with like a double hammer on. I'm just going open A to my first finger twice there. I'm going to go up to that C natural note and walk down. 2 A's at the end. And it's totally fine to just play those open A's there, but I like to dress it up a little bit and use my 4th finger on the D string to go for a unison A. And for the first A, I'm going to slide my pinky into it, and then I'm just going to hit it that second time. One more time there. All right, I'll play the second phrase just a couple of times. Here's the third phrase. I'll play that one again. So I'm starting from the open A here, and I'm walking up to that C natural, my second finger. And I'm going to show it with just the open E first. So when we get up to that open E, I'm going to pop over to that D note, my third finger on the A string, and then back to the open E. Kind of walking down like that. I'll do that one again. Let me play the whole third phrase again. One more time, just like that, with just the open E's. To dress that phrase up just a little bit, what I like to do is on the walk up, and that first time I'm hitting the open E, I'm going to use that pinky on the A string to get the unison open E. And then hit that open E the second time. So I'm going to play it one time really slow. Alright, a little bit faster. Hit that G double stop at the end. Let's do that phrase one last time. And then our fourth phrase here, it's just a nice little Wilson Douglas resolve with a shuffle at the end. Play it one more time. So we're just starting with our first finger on the A string, and we're walking up to the D note there. One more time. And then we're just gonna finish on a G shuffle. Play a G note and then the shuffle. One more time for that fourth phrase. So let's refresh ourselves. We've got our first phrase here with our little interesting slide. One more time. Our second phrase has that double hammer on. One more time. Now our third phrase, we're going to walk up to the E string and do that little back and forth. One more time. And our fourth phrase with the resolve. One more time. Let's loop this A part. We'll tater us in. Let's talk about this B part. It does break down into 4 nice phrases where our first and our third phrase is the same, and the fourth phrase is actually going to be the same as the A part, so we really just have a couple of phrases to learn. I'll go ahead and play it. So for our first phrase here, we go up, we're walking up from the E string, and we're going to shuffle a couple of times on that G note. And then we're just going to walk down from there. And so after that first finger, we're not going to go to the open A. That's our lowest note right there in the walk down. And then we're going to hop over here and put our third finger on the D string for that G double stop. So from the top of the first phrase. Let's do that one more time. this little phrase here, instead of just shuffling on it, I'm really giving it some structure and some dimension there. So first I'm playing this B note, the high note in the double stop. Then I'm going to play the double stop. Then I'm playing the lower note, which is, in this case, a G note. And then back to the double stop. Let's do that one more time. All separate bows there. So one more time from the top of the first phrase of the beat part. The second phrase is going to start the same way. I'll go ahead and play it. So that same kind of shuffle. And this time I'm going to go down to my first finger, but I'm going to do a little trill. 1, 2, 1, and then open E. So from the top it goes. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going into this D double stop. It's just like that G double stop, just moved up a string. So now I've got my third finger on the A string and my first finger on the E string. And what I'm doing is on this down bow, I've got my bow on both the A string and the E string, but I have my first finger hovering down here. I've got my third finger on the A string, and when I start playing this, I'm gonna be playing an open E, and I know that sounds really dissonant, but it corrects itself when I hammer on that first finger here. And then on the up bow, I'm just gonna play the A string with that D note. And then I'm gonna pulse and I'm gonna grab that E string again. And I really like to pulse and grab it when I'm in the deepest part of my bow right here, where the curve is the deepest. And whenever I pulse and I grab that E string, I'm not pushing my bow faster or anything. It's more of just about using my index finger and making the stick get closer to the hair there. So here's this whole second phrase again. One more time. Our third phrase is the same as the first. And then our fourth phrase is the same as the A part. So let's tie together this whole B part now. I'm going to tater us in just to get us lined up. So time for some add-ins here. I'm going to start from the top and just kind of play through this tune and tell you guys what I like to add in. Sometimes right there I'll keep that G double stop going instead of just playing the A string. Because we're coming out of that G double stop right before that. I'll play it from the top again. G double stop. Even put the C note in here. So you can really cage in that G chord through that A part there. I don't play it like that every time. I just like to do these little add-ins. Here it is from the top again. For this next phrase, we've got that C natural there, so sometimes whenever I'm walking up, I'm going to bar my first finger on both the D string and the A string so I can walk right up to that C double stop. we've got the C double stop. Instead of playing the double stop there, we can move this E note on the D string with our first finger and play the open E. It's a good exercise for intonation too. Onto the B part here. Sometimes I'll hit that G double stop at the top with my first finger on the E string, the same kind of thing, just moved up. So whenever I'm placing that first finger on the E string, I'm also putting my first finger on the A string, but I'm not playing it until I get into that double stop. And then probably one of my favorite variations for this tune is to play around with that first phrase a little bit. So here's the way we did it to begin with. Let's see here. So we kind of drag it out. That second B note where we're usually just skipping right to it and not doing that whole B natural slide, I'm going to really milk that one. That one's just the same, just like in the beginning. One more time. All right, I think we're ready for a play along. Wilson Douglas usually just played one B part in this tune. So sometimes depending on who I'm playing with or where I'm playing, I'll do different things. I like to play this tune for a square dance, and whenever I do that, I typically play two B parts. But sometimes I'm playing in West Virginia jams with people that played with Wilson, and they know that there's one B part in this. So do what you want. I usually just say what I'm doing before I do it. Like, I'm going to play one B part, or I'm going to play two B parts. All right, here we go.